Welcome back to the Uprising Network. I'm back with another episode review for you. Now, it's been a while since I did an episode. I think the last one I might have done was maybe Thor Ragnarok. I think that was back in November. Wow, but it's been a minute, man. It's not that I haven't seen any movies. It's not that I haven't been watching anything. It's just that I've just been too busy with everything else to really sit down in front of the camera myself. So we are back this time with the Avengers Infinity War. This is the 19th, I believe, installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So I'm not really here to talk about the whole storyline about that. I'm sure you guys heard enough about that. I am a week late, I know, and I don't even care. But I still want to talk about it anyways. I went to see it in theaters twice. It was so good I had to see it the second time, and I did catch some things the second time that I didn't see the first time. I had my 4-year-old with me, and sometimes you get to be a distraction sometimes with him. He gets restless, jumping back and forth in the seat and whatnot. But whatever, we are here. Now, first thing I must say is that I did not have any expectations going into the movie. I didn't watch any of the trailers. I saw the first trailer that came out only because I may have caught it by accident watching TV on a rare time that I actually sit and watch TV. Other than that, I didn't see any trailers. I didn't read up on anything beforehand because I did not want to know anything going into it. Similar to how with Black Panther, I didn't have any expectations with that either. I'm not familiar with the Black Panther character. I'm not even sure if I knew of the Black Panther character. Yes, I am one of those people who do not read the comics, don't follow the comics, because apparently the cinematic universe doesn't either. Apparently The Walking Dead doesn't either. Apparently all these people that are comic book fans who have something to say about people who don't read the comics, what the fuck does it matter anyway? It don't matter because these studios aren't following the comic books either. Yeah, so then we get into it. Like, as soon as the movie starts, it's people getting killed off the rip. Off the rip, people are getting killed. And I'm thinking like, okay, so we about to be really in for a long ride. Like beforehand, I'm thinking, okay, one of them is going to die. One of my favorite characters are going to die, whether it be Iron Man, Captain America, somebody who I really, really have some sort of attachment to within the series or the universe, excuse me. They're going to die. So long story short, as I'm sure you've all seen it by now, none of them did die. None of them died, but it was a fantastic movie. I was pretty much on the edge of my seat all the way to the end. That's why I had to see it twice, because it was like some scenes that would go on and then I would still be stuck on them as the movie progressed, and then next thing you know, here I am coming back to where the movie is. So it's like some things that I didn't catch and I have to watch them all over again. But it's just Marvel Studios is really, really, really flawless at this point. I can't think of any of the movies that first of all, I haven't seen them all because I did not see Thor, the first or second Thor. Thor has never really been a character I was interested in because it just seems very like Shakespearean-like, and I just didn't like the tone and textures of the movie. But after seeing Infinity War, I probably will go back and see it. I also didn't see Doctor Strange for that same reason. It reminded me, just seeing the trailer of it, it reminded me of like Shakespeare, and I wasn't really interested. I didn't want to mix that with my Marvel and superheroes and whatnot. So, but I am going to go back and check out Doctor Strange because he turned out to be one of the most vital and crucial characters within the story, and not even because he had an Infinity Stone. It was really because he put up a good fight, with Iron Man through a lot of the movie. Now, as I'm watching the movie, I'm just looking around to see people's thoughts and reactions. And by the end, this lady directly next to me, I just happened to look over at her, and you just imagine turning and you see a woman just sitting there. She was like, her hands were stuck like this, and her mouth was wide open, just. By the time the end credits had rolled up, and then I look over to my right, my son was asleep. Then his mom is looking at the movie the same way. She was just stuck as well. Her mouth wasn't open, but she was stuck as well. And it just was one of those movies where you instantly feel like, damn, is this the best movie in the cinematic universe? After long thought, I believe it's the best one. Some people still give it up to Winter Soldiers. People can still give it up to Civil War or even the first Avengers. But I have a hard time. It's just the way that it was so many characters involved, and none of the characters felt like they got shortchanged. It seems like every last one of them had a moment in the movie where it was like, okay, you did your job. You did your job. You did your job. There were some times where I'm like, for instance, like Star-Lord in a movie. Star-Lord, they almost get Thanos' glove off, and this dummy, he You've seen the movie, but this idiot, he messes the whole plan up. And I'm like, at that point, I kind of wanted Thanos to just get rid of Star-Lord at that point. I didn't realize Thanos was such as a most powerful, impactful character he is. I know they led this up all the way from the first Avengers to now, which was 2012 up to 2018. 6 years they had sprinkled him in through multiple movies. And I didn't realize it. I kind of underestimated Thanos. But I will say Thanos is the most likable villain throughout all of them. I thought Killmonger may have been, because I understand that Killmonger's whole purpose. I understand that what his mission was. You know, I didn't agree with it necessarily, but I understood it, and I felt like I could relate to Killmonger. Not even relate, because he just come from the same, I guess Oakland and Detroit is one and the same, and I just felt like that kind of the similarities was there. But I feel like Thanos is definitely the most likable villain. I feel like Thanos is the most impactful villain out of any comic book series or anything that I've kept up with, movies in general. I don't see anybody else, maybe arguably the Joker, I guess care through this charisma and whatnot, but Thanos, I'm still speechless. I probably end up going to see it a third time. I'm speechless as how powerful this man was. Like I said, I didn't keep up with the comics and whatnot, and I didn't really know what to expect. Were there any things that I didn't like about the movie? I can't really think of anything that I did not like. There wasn't anyone that I felt like I said, it wasn't shortchanged or anything like that. I'm going off the top of this. I didn't do any notes preparing ahead of time, but after seeing it again, I had to just come back and just give my initial thoughts and just get it all out there. I know I'm probably all off the rails or whatnot, but I just had to get my thoughts out there. I didn't see anything that I was like, yeah, I would have changed that. Yeah, I didn't like that. I will say Thor has probably become my favorite out of all of them now because of what happened between Thor Ragnarok and this movie. He's definitely become my favorite out of all of them. Iron Man was for the longest, but Thor is probably up there now because they did some sort of change to his character. His character seemed a little bit more, I don't know, I don't want to say relaxed, but it just seemed like a little, I don't want to say human, but his character is just different versus the first two Thor movies or even the first few Avenger movies. It just was different. So Thor has probably become my favorite. Now, the thing about it is, when the deaths happened, I wasn't really shocked. I wasn't shocked, and I probably wasn't shocked because of the fact that when I saw T'Challa die or turn into dust or whatever, I was like, okay, I already know how this is gonna play out. And me being a writer or a videographer or really studying film and whatnot, I'm like, okay, so I know there's going to be another Black Panther, so evidently he's going to come back. It's clear now. Then when Peter Parker died, I was like, okay, now the jig is up. I'm not even these deaths didn't really affect me that much. Now, okay, it's fun to believe that they're dead. I know they're not dead. They're going to come back somehow, but it just didn't do it for me. Once I saw them two die, I kind of side-eyed the whole movie. All right. This don't make no sense now. Yeah, I do believe Vision is gone for sure. I do believe Loki's gone for sure. Excuse me, I'll put it this way. Everybody before the snap, I feel like is gone. Outside of Gamora, because I think Gamora, Soul Stone, like I said, I don't keep up with the comics at all, but I'm just going by how I would probably write it. The fact that she was sacrificed for the stone, I feel like she's probably the only one that could come back before the finger snap. But everybody else before that, I believe is gone. They're not coming back. So someone is going to end up, of course, getting an Infinity Gauntlet and reversing everything back. I saw at the end credit that Captain Marvel was coming, and due to the little research that I did, that Captain Marvel is on Superman levels, or maybe even stronger, the strongest Avenger that there is. So I know that she's coming back, and I don't even know her storyline or what's going to take place in her movie, if she has any little sidekick friends that can possibly help take out Thanos. But I do, like I said, my theory is that everybody's going to be coming back. I don't believe Captain America and Iron Man are going to go. I believe Iron Man is probably going to be yo, I'm too old for this, and I'm out of here. I want to start a family, and I'm going. Now, I was looking for Valkyrie. And I believe she's probably on some little side quest and on another planet somewhere and don't even realize what happened on Earth. I was looking for Ant-Man, but they did mention the Hawkeye, that they're under like some government whatever, and but I am looking. I feel like Ant-Man could have definitely helped quite a bit, but anyway, like I know there's a lot more to come, and I saw like maybe like a little interview with the directors, the Russo brothers, and they were saying that it could possibly top maybe like 3 hours with the next one, which I'm hoping that it is. 2.5 hours did not feel like nearly enough, even though the movie I felt like had a complete beginning and end. It did not feel like there was like some open-ended ending to it. It felt like Thanos' movie. It was not an Avengers movie. It was a Thanos movie. I feel like this movie was definitely about Thanos versus the rest of the Avengers, and the fact that that shows by how they showed him at the end of the movie and how he won. He was sitting watching the sunset and whatnot. Like I said, he was relatable. Not relatable, but excuse me. I felt myself rooting for him, but I don't understand how he felt like sacrificing half of the population is doing any good, which I feel like he can possibly change things around with the Infinity Stones versus getting rid of half of the population. Therefore, I guess the remaining population get twice as much resources. I feel like that really don't make much sense to me. If you want to do some good, I'm sure you can do something different with the Infinity Gauntlet. But that's neither here nor there. I'm nitpicking at this point. Well, we ended up back in Wakanda. I don't understand where were the rhinos at when it came to the little space dogs or whatever the hell they call. Where were the rhinos at? I feel like the rhinos could have helped. Shuri, I feel like she could have possibly had more screen time, but I think in the second part of this, which they don't have a title for it yet, I feel like she's going to have more screen time based on the fact that T'Challa is dead or in the Infinity Stone or some other parallel universe or something like that. I feel like Shuri is definitely going to have more screen time. She might even get a suit. That'd be great if they showed her getting a suit and becoming Black Panther for a bit of the movie until T'Challa comes back. But that's pretty much my thoughts on it. I needed to document this because I wanted to come back around next year and really give a full review and see if my theories were correct or whatnot. But I don't see any flaws in this movie at all. It's a 10 to me. It's a complete 10. It's the best film in the cinematic universe by far, based on that there were so many characters they had to include, and they did a fantastic job of including everyone. And I can't, like I said, I had to see it twice, and I can't see any flaws in it. It's a 10 for sure. It's not like it's a low 10. No, it's a high, solid, earned 10 out of 10. And I don't know where they can go with it the next time. Like, can they top this? And I felt like that after seeing, which one was it? It might have been even after the first one. Like, how can they top that? I feel like they took a step back with Age of Ultron a little bit. I didn't really care for the villain in the storyline too much. But then they went Civil War, and like, damn, how can they top Civil War, especially with all of them fighting each other and whatnot? But they totally did it, and I have done 100% faith in Marvel Studios. I'm interested to see they're going into Phase 4. Now I'm looking forward past Phase 4, into Phase 5 because I know that they have the rights to X-Men coming and Fantastic Four. So they said if anything they wouldn't be introduced until Phase 5, and the studio is already at making their plans all the way to 2025. So I'm sure they're at the point where they want to start putting the X-Men and Final Four and what other rights they may have grabbed into the cinematic universe. And I feel like maybe 30, 40 years from now, we'll still be watching Marvel cinema. I don't know if there'll be like new characters involved. I would really hope that they're not, because they have I can't see them like rebooting like Iron Man 20 years ago, because Tony Stark is Tony Stark. Like, you can't change that now. I can't see them rebooting Captain America 20 years from now, because these are people whenever they do decide to bring X-Men into the Marvel universe, who was gonna play Wolverine? I can't imagine somebody else taking in just on the tip of my tongue, I lost his name that fast. But the guy Hugh Jackman, I can't imagine them changing. Like, I can't imagine somebody else stepping in that and filling that role, because I'm always going to look at the bar that was set by Hugh Jackman. I didn't see the second Wolverine movie, but all the other movies he in, I feel like he did a solid job, and he was the star of those movies. So I'm very interested to see how they're going to play it out. If you have any other comments, any other questions, I'm definitely interested in having this dialogue. I muted all the characters' names, Infinity War, Marvel, everything on social media. But I am looking forward to having more dialogue about it, because it's one of the best movies I've seen in a long time. It's only been maybe a few movies that I went to go see in the theaters the second time instead of bootlegging it or downloading it, Fire Stick, whatever. But the other one was straight out of Compton. So I'm like I said, I'll probably go see it a third time. I know people felt this way about Black Panther, but to be honest, Black Panther really didn't do it that much for me. It was good. It just, I didn't feel like it was great, and I think it wasn't great because of the CGI that was at the end. I didn't like the fact that a lot of it looked like so digital and computerized versus a real deal fight. You know, I didn't like that at all. That totally ruined it for me. But my top 5 Marvel movies right now, at this point, Infinity War got to be number 1. I still believe Iron Man is number 2, because that was number 1 for me for a while. Iron Man, then you probably put Civil War at 3. 4 would be Winter Soldier. 5 probably Thor Ragnarok. That's my 5. I'm not giving it that much thought, but that's my 5 right now. But anyway, man, if you got more dialogue, any more conversations you want to have, all my social media will be under the description. I hope to see y'all soon on the next episode of Review for You.